King Charles opens up iconic room at Buckingham Palace to visitors in royal first. They are arguably the most famous net curtains in the world. And from Monday, visitors to Buckingham Palace will be able to stand behind them, inside the room that opens onto its famous balcony, for the first time in history. The newly restored centre room, where the royal family gathers ahead of their big balcony moments, opens to visitors for the first time on the 15th of July. The royals have celebrated coronations, weddings, and jubilees from the room, and it is where the king chose to record his last Christmas Day message in December. Welcome to Royal Pancakes. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe and click the notifications bell, so you don't miss any news about the British monarchy. Tourists can now enjoy the same view down the mall that the king and his family see from its windows, minus the TV normally placed in a corner so that the royals can watch the crowds on the mall before stepping out. The lavishly decorated centre room is on the route of a new guided tour of the palace's East Wing, which was added to the palace by Queen Victoria and Prince Albert to house their growing family between 1847 and 1849. Caroline de Gittert, surveyor of the King's works of art at the Royal Collection Trust, says, "It was Prince Albert's idea to have a balcony at Buckingham Palace, because he saw it as a way of enabling the royal family to connect with the people, and of course that's exactly how, in a sense, it continues to be used on important occasions." She added, "But it began to be used very early on in Queen Victoria's reign, from 1851, waving off the troops to the Crimean War and welcoming them back on return." While visitors are not allowed to go out onto the balcony or take photographs, they can admire the lavish tastes of George IV, whose vast collection of artworks, furniture and decorations was brought to London by Queen Victoria from his holiday home, the Royal Pavilion in Brighton. They include portraits of kings, queens, emperors, and empresses, Chinese celadon vases, lamps and pagodas mounted on gilt bronze, George IV sofas and chairs, and a room decorated with hand-painted chinoiserie wallpaper which was painstakingly removed, cleaned, conserved and reinstalled in the yellow drawing room over a 2-year period during resurfacing work. The decision to open the East Wing to the public has been driven by the King, who is keen to make royal residences more accessible to the public. All 6,000 tickets for guided tours of the East Wing tour, priced at £75, sold out within hours of going on sale in April. The new route takes visitors through the centre room, yellow drawing room and 240-foot-long principal corridor, as well as the 19 state rooms which are already accessible on visitors on a standard ticket. This year visitors can also admire the new portrait of King Charles by artist Jonathan Yeo, which is on display in the ballroom. The King and Queen spend their summer break at Balmoral in August, and their Majesties are set to welcome new guests at their Scottish residence. Like Queen Elizabeth II, Charles has followed his late mother's custom of inviting the Prime Minister to join him at his Aberdeenshire retreat. Following the UK general election, Labour leader Keir Starmer has become the new Prime Minister, with the King officially appointing him during an audience at Buckingham Palace last Friday. Following in tradition, Keir and his wife, Victoria, are likely to be invited to Balmoral by the King during the Parliament's summer recess. Former Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and his wife, Akshata Murthy, were pictured joining the King and Queen at Crathy Kirk Church for their first and what would be their only Balmoral stay last summer. Typically, the King and Queen are also joined by members of their families, including the Prince and Princess of Wales and their 3 children. Former PM and Conservative leader Boris Johnson and his wife, Carrie Johnson, took their eldest child, Wilfred, to visit the late Queen at Balmoral in 2021, her first without Prince Philip. Boris also said Queen Elizabeth II was bright and focused in their last meeting before he tendered his resignation to Her late Majesty at Balmoral in 2022.